Okay guys, let's take a quick drive of the 2019 GLC 43 Coupe. Should have keyless access, so we'll be able to open the doors like this. The keys in the pocket, pretty nice. We can hop right inside. Awesome. Let's get ourselves comfortable here really quick. Shut the seatbelt up, and of course, easy to power on. One big button. Really cool stuff. Now, if you do have it in sport mode and accessory mode, and you have the engine and the exhaust open, you'll actually get a little bit of a blip on the start, which I'll play for you guys really quickly. But we're just gonna put the windows down for you guys now, and I want you guys to hear this V6 engine, because it is gone as ending from Mercedes' lineup, but it does sound pretty good still. So in the center console, we can press the exhaust button, and you can also pop the drive mode into, let's put in the sport. Sport Plus is a little aggressive for the street. You can also individualize those modes, but yeah, pretty nice space. Let's just get off going. So of course, to pop it into drive, you have your selector right here, all the way down for drive, all the way up for reverse, and you have your backup camera. So in reverse, as you can see right there, it backs up pretty easily. And you do have some different views with the cameras you can select if you need to see around, but the screen is pretty small, even though the resolution is great on the cameras. Pop it into drive, all the way down, and go forward. And again, to pop it into park, you have to press the button right here. So if you're not familiar with Mercedes, that's how it goes, but that's a pretty simple process to do right there. Okay guys, let's make sure the exhaust is open. Perfect. Put the suspension in comfort, just for some comfortable ride, but we'll keep it in Sport Plus right now, so we have the loudest exhaust. Let's see here what we can see while we're parked. Ooh. Nice. It is limited up to like 4,000 RPM, but pretty nice. We'll hear it better on the road in a second. So we'll just pop it into drive. Put the windows up for you guys now, because it is pretty quiet in here with the windows up. You can hear with the exhaust open, there's a little bit of a nice rumble going on there. So let's head off. Like I said before, we do have paddle shifters on the side. And in Sport Plus mode, it is very sporty, actually. Everything's a little bit more on edge. The suspension's on edge, if you want it to be. Powertrain and the gearbox. So we have a 9-speed gearbox in here, around 360 horsepower, 380 pound-feet of torque in that area. And the shifts are aggressive in Sport Plus mode too. That is awesome. And as I was showing you guys before in the full video, you can get some cool gauges in the center console if you kind of scroll through them. Lap start, timers, and all of these cool stuff right here. So let's just wait for this light here, and we'll head off, and I'll show you guys what this sounds like in a straight line. Just in a second. That is aggressive. Really aggressive. Yeah, it's definitely a performance vehicle when you want it to be, and when you don't want it to be, you can simply pop it into all these different modes, and especially comfort mode, and it gets really comfortable to drive in with that nice addition of that extra power you have. That person just cut across the entire road. Wow. And now it's in comfort mode, and it's a comfortable vehicle. It's quiet in here. The suspension isn't as loud, but I'm telling you, once you pop this suspension into sport suspension, it definitely stiffens up, and you can hear it inside. As the dampers are now tighter, the suspension is stiffer, and you can kind of, when you go over bumps, you do get a little bit more of like that harsher feeling inside, but you don't need to have that on, so it's fine. You also have a mode over here specifically for manual mode. If you press it here, when you press manual mode, you do get an M in there, and there's actually lights that'll show up when you're shifting, which is pretty cool. Depending on what mode you're in, you also will have auto stop start, turn on or off. So there's a lot of different settings as well in that department. It is a pretty nice place to be. Like I said, it's pretty quiet in here when you're just driving around, but if you want, you can pop the windows down, throw the exhaust button open, which you can actually open in almost any mode, I believe, and have a little bit more fun. We're going under a tunnel here, so let's pop into Sport Plus and see if we can hear anything in here really quickly. Yeah, it is aggressive in Sport Plus mode, I can tell you that. Brakes are pretty strong too as we stop for this light. Yeah, so you can definitely have fun with this vehicle if you wanted to. So no problem pulling in traffic either. No complaints really inside either. There was a little bit of a rattling going on back there, but it kind of went away from before. And like I said before, the only real big problem is that rear visibility is horrendous back there. Even if you're trying to look out of the rear view mirror as well, unfortunately. Also, the steering isn't the best. Now, this is an SUV, this isn't a car, but even with the kind of sport steering on, it's still very light. If you do go up to speed a little bit more, it will stiffen up. It's kind of like a progressive electric steering system, but it's not my favorite. If you want more of an aggressive steering system in a performance-y or mild performance-y SUV, you're probably going to want to look at BMW. The direct competitor would be the X4 M40i, I believe it's called. Another direct competitor to this is the Audi SQ5, and they also make a Sportback version, which is their crossover coupe version. Not the best thing in the looks department, I can tell you that, but it is another option if you are a fan of Audis. It's also important to keep talking about these used cars right now, as new cars are pretty hard to get. Right now with the chip shortage, the supply chain shortage going on, so used cars are pretty popular still. And these things, if you want to sell one, if you have one right now, or if you are looking to buy one, they're holding their value pretty well. So these still are in the 40 to 50 to 30, high $30,000 range, even if they're just a few years old, which is, I guess, a good thing for the value propositions. But if you are looking to get into an older one, you still have to fork out a pretty penny to get one. But that just is how it is right now, with everything's a little bit overinflated. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this really short drive with the GLC 43 Coupe, as well as the full review video. And stay tuned for a lot more stuff coming from Allcarnews really soon. Oh, going over these plates are the worst. But it's not too bad in comfort mode. Thank you guys for watching these videos again. And like I said before, stay tuned for a lot more stuff coming from Allcarnews.